Well, greetings everybody. Welcome to the RIT conference. It's been such a long time in planning. We've had to go from being in person back in April to our Zoom conference now. But we are here and we're delighted to start our conference today, and I'm delighted to open it. I'm Karen Jacobsen. I'm the director of the Refugees in Towns project, and also the Henry J. Leir Professor in Global Migration at the Fletcher School. I'm here with Greg Gottlieb, who's the director of the Feinstein International Center, and also with our conference organizing team. And before I turn it over to them, I wanted to just quickly talk a little bit about the RIT project. For those of you, I'm sure you all know about it, but I'm just going to tell you a little bit about it and also about the conference. The Refugees in Towns project began back in 2016, really as a response to the new administration that had just come in. And I was particularly interested in understanding how towns were reacting to the new policies and directives and executive orders that were coming down the track when it comes to refugees who were in those towns. And since then, the project has grown a little bit, but basically from the beginning and still today, we are interested in trying to understand this process of integration, how refugees and other kinds of migrants come into towns and become integrated in those towns. And we see this process as very much a relation between what happens in the townspeople, and governments and municipalities and organizations, and between those and the refugees and migrants themselves. So we see integration as a relational process that happens. But I was more interested in a way in what the towns themselves were doing and how they were responding to the directives coming from at the national level. Were towns going along with these new policies, or were they pushing back at them? What was the role of the city government, of local communities, and the refugees themselves in promoting and enabling the integration of new migrants? So I wanted to go beyond a focus on the refugee experience, because I've worked in this field of forced migration for nigh on 30 years, and it's clear to me that what happens to refugees who live outside camps and who live in cities or towns is that what happens to them is about the cities and the people and the organizations in them. It's not just about what refugees do or about what the host people do. It's about how refugees and the non-refugee neighbors work out their problems together, and how they are supported by city government, by businesses, by religious and civil organizations of all kinds. So it's this process that the Refugees in Towns project is all about. And since we began in 2016, where we initially focused on the US, looking at towns in the US, we've gone beyond to look at this process all over the world. And we now have more than 40 case reports from different towns. So today, our conference and our arts festival tomorrow has brought together many of our Refugees in Towns researchers, as well as the students who support them, because this process is very much about having students and researchers in towns work together. And also we're bringing in a lot of their partner organizations who they work with and also who we work with. We've invited all these people. We're thrilled to have them in one virtual place, and we hope you'll be able to connect with them during the coffee breaks and on the panels, and just learn more about them and just network. So that's all I have to say right now, because we want to keep things pretty tight here. I'm going to now introduce Greg Gottlieb, who's the director of the Feinstein International Center, where the RIT project is based, and which has hosted us since we began. And let me also add that the Refugees in Towns project is funded by the Leir Foundation, which has generously given us the funds to support this project since we began. So we're really indebted to them and want to thank them. But so let me throw this out to Greg Gottlieb. Where are you, Greg?
let me unmute myself. Thanks, Karen, for that really great introduction, and also for just reminding us that the project has been funded very generously by the Leir Foundation. So, as are many of us. So the Refugees in Town program has really been, for 3 years now, a major part of Feinstein's agenda. It has really meshed well with what we do as a center, looking at what happens to vulnerable people in really extreme situations. Much of our work is done in places like South Sudan or Ethiopia or Kenya or Congo, places where people are on the move. And so what we're learning in RIT is going to help us, I think, with a lot of that work. I have been impressed with the project over the last several years because Karen and Charles Simpson, who's worked closely with Karen, have been able to pull together a very interesting group of researchers, refugees themselves, who are reporting on what's going on in their communities. And that is one of the things that's most unique about this project. And I think you'll find as we go through the next couple of days, that's really what gives it, I think, a real unique essence to the research. Also, because in that same vein, Feinstein, we welcome students and researchers from around the world, many of them coming from RIT. And so it's been a real merger of efforts between what we do at the center and what RIT has really brought to us. And lastly, just to go back to one of the things that Karen said in the beginning, when we started with this new administration back in 2016, what we hope at Feinstein, and perhaps many of you do, we hope this work helps strengthen the commitment to refugees, their needs, and their contributions. And what this project discovers in its research will help cities and towns around the world to really more easily and integrate refugees and welcome them into their communities. So Karen, thanks for letting me have a few words, and I'll come back to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Greg. And I, of course, want to echo your words there that the purpose of our Refugees in Towns project is to support refugees and the towns that host them, and in a progressive way that promotes social justice for everybody, for refugees and the populations in our towns. But most of all, that we are pro-refugee, pro-immigrant, and see that as a hugely important aspect of all over the world, including our own countries. Okay, so now I would like to just call out to our fantastic team. And I'm going to start with Charles Simpson. As Greg noted, Charles is a project manager for, or has been for several years now, for our, most of you know him who've ever worked with us. And he's a crucial part of the Refugees in Town project and a crucial part of organizing our conference today. So Charles, over to you.
Thanks, Karen, and thanks, Greg. That was a really good overview and introduction for the conference. I don't have a whole lot to add to the background on the project. One thing I'd want to point out is what Greg alluded to. One of the really remarkable things I think about RIT is just how much breadth we have. I'm looking through the list of people who are here right now. We have at least 4 continents represented, I think more this morning or afternoon, if it's afternoon or night for you. So what I'd really encourage you all to do is use this as an opportunity to continue to network and get to know each other. We'd like to think of these panels as really just conversation starters and encourage the conversations to continue after this weekend. So use that chat box down in the corner. You can all talk one-on-one. There's these coffee breaks, which will just be kind of informal pauses. You could chat with each other one-on-one and exchange contact info, that sort of thing, just so we can continue to build this ever-growing network that we have all over the world. Just one little technical addition as far as process. If you're having any technical issues or anything, just go ahead and I'll be watching the chat box here where you have and Kelsey Rowe is being fantastic at organizing all the tech side of things. So if you have any issues, just shoot us an email or send us a message in that chat box. We'll be sure to get stuff sorted out. But yeah, looking forward to it. Thanks everybody for taking the time to join.
Great, thanks for that. And now I want to also introduce the rest of our team real quick, because we're going to try to keep things as tight as possible for timing. So our conference organizing team, in addition to Charles, has also been Marina and Stephanie Kurik. Why don't you guys say hi? And then I also want to introduce our students, Kelsey, Chloe, Victoria, and Amir. Could you all just, in that order, say hi real quick? Starting with Marina.
Hi, everyone. My name is Marina Lajetic, and yeah, I'm one of the co-chairs of this event, and I'm also one of the researchers for the RIT project. I'm very excited to be here, and I look forward to the conversation this weekend.
Stephanie.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Curry, and I am the other co-organizing chair for the art festival, and I participated as well to the conference. And so me, I'm an ethnomusicologist in the music department here at Tufts University, and I joined the RIT project about a year ago in relation to the art festival, and so it's been very exciting process, and we're like very thrilled about all the positive outcome of this weekend.
Kelsey, how about you? You're up.
Hi, everyone. I am a second-year MALD, and I will be, like Charles said, managing all of the tech as much as possible during the conference. So if you get messages from me in the chat, just read them, and looking forward to all of our conversations.
And Chloe.
Hi, I'm Chloe Pan. I am a second-year MALD as well, and I am a research assistant with the RIT project, but have been managing design and the website for this conference, so I'm happy that it's happening.
And Amira.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amir Siddiqui. I'm also a second-year MALD who has been working on this conference as well as a research assistant for RIT in general. It's been a really exciting process, and we're excited for the conversations ahead.
And Victoria, are you there? Victoria? Well, I'm not sure that I saw Victoria. But
She's going to join us a little bit later.
Okay, that's fine. I also want to just shout out to all of the other Fletcher students who worked with us and that I'm not naming here, but we are so grateful to you all.